Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Jazzy and welcome back to Nick and I's YouTube channel. It's the Crooks. Well, right now I'm going to do something a little bit different and I am going to talk to y'all a little bit about wedding stuff. Well, and what I mean by wedding stuff, I'm going to just take a deep dive into my top 10 wedding wish do-overs, as I want to say. I don't want to use the word regret because I don't regret anything about Nick and I's special day. I mean, planning weddings come with many headaches, trial and error, all kind of craziness happens, but one word that I try to use very lightly is the word regret because I don't regret anything, minus all the crazy stuff. But anyways, y'all, so this is Jasmine's top 10 wedding wish do-overs, and I really do hope that whoever's watching this, whether you are a new bride, up-and-coming bride, you have 60, 90, 100 days left to your wedding, hopefully this video can help you not make some of the mistakes that I made while going through the wedding planning journeys. All right, y'all, so woo, me and Nick have been married for 5 months now. Like, time is going by so fast, and the crazy question that, not gonna lie, I'm tired of hearing it at this point is, how's married life? Like, if someone asks me that question one more time, I'm gonna scream. But I always answer with a smile and I tell people, nothing has really changed. Like, I think Nick's probably told y'all, like, people ask him, or not ask, but tell him, oh, married life's gonna be so hard and all this stuff. And granted, don't get me wrong, there has been challenges. Like, I think we've only lived together for maybe a year and some change now, and I've never lived with anyone except for roommates in college. Like, I've always had my own apartment. I've never had any additional roommates, so like moving in with someone else and a man at that has been a crazy change for me, and we are very territorial. So it's a lot of, I don't want this here, don't put that there, you're too messy, this needs to be, like, y'all, the craziest, or let me not say crazy, like the most, like, just you know, well, you know what I mean. But anyway, so all right, y'all, I have all my little notes written down, so I'm gonna go down my list, and of course I'm gonna tell you why. Like I said, I really do hope this video reaches all of the new brides out there so that you don't do what I did. Okay, first things first, hire a wedding planner. Now, let me clear this up before my mom comes for me because I know she's watching this. Let me tell you why we didn't hire a wedding planner. Number one, it just would not fit in our budget, y'all. Wedding planners are so expensive, and we just could, like, it just was no way. There were so many other things that I wanted and I was not willing to sacrifice, so we just went without it. My mom and I basically went on vibes, and let me tell y'all, the vibes were not always the best, but we made it to the finish line, and that's all I can say. If your budget does allow for you to plan with a wedding planner, I highly recommend you do it, especially if you are not getting married in the local city or state that you live in. So Nick and I got married in New Orleans, which is my hometown. A lot of my family lives there, but I will tell y'all, majority of my guests, after like looking at the invitations on where we were sending them, I would say, I'm not even gonna lie, y'all, like 85% of our guests traveled into New Orleans. I think only like my super immediate family that lived in New Orleans, you know, didn't have to like go get hotels and make travel accommodations. So number one, shout out to all my guests that are watching this video right now. If you were able to make it, thank you so much. Nick and I appreciate you so much for making the journey to come and celebrate such a special day with us. But back on topic. So anyways, get you a wedding planner. Just budget it the best way you can, and I promise it most likely will make the planning process a lot more smoothly. And also I'm sure that they will keep you within your means of your budget so that you don't overspend. Number two. Okay, this is my number 2 and number 3 are actually like one and the same. So I'm gonna break it up into 2 parts. So not taking bridal portraits, y'all. If your photographer offers within your package to do bridal portraits, do it. Take those bridal pictures, because you never know what is going to happen the day of, whether you end up with time constraints or whatever else could possibly happen. And as I go through my list, y'all will understand why these are like my top 10. But definitely take your bridal portraits. Luckily, I will actually get an opportunity to take my bridal portraits. Now, the sucky part about this is redoing my hair, redoing my makeup, possibly getting a bouquet remade, because y'all, it is sitting in my office and it is crispy. It is dried up. So clearly there's no, like, they were fresh flowers, so duh. You know, that's gonna happen. Having to re-steam my gown. Not to mention, I want to take these pictures in New Orleans. Like, travel, like, y'all, this is why you wanna do your bridal portraits either before or try to make time for it if you're gonna do it the day of, because it is a hassle trying to figure it out after the fact, especially since our wedding was in the middle of the year in May, and now we're towards the end of the year and there are, of course, more weddings. Your photographer could be booked up. We're getting into holidays, y'all, where travel like skyrockets in price, all of the above. So take those bridal portraits, plan accordingly, and get it done. Because for me, I unfortunately didn't get those bridal portrait pictures that I imagined, which goes into my number 3 topic, not being clear with our photographer and our videographer. So of course we did have conversations, and I'll start with the photographer. We did have conversations with our photographer. Super, super cool guy. I've seen so much of his work. His photos are absolutely beautiful. So mistake number 1, upon securing my date with him, he mentioned that he would not be the actual photographer shooting on my wedding day. So let me tell you this, red flag, super red flag. And this is not to like throw shade on the 2 photographers that were there that he hired, because we did get a few really great shots from them, especially Nick. Like, Nick got some, like, y'all, if y'all sees Nick's photos, like, I drooled, I gagged, I was like, oh my God. And then when I started to sift through and look for mine, I didn't have as many as I would have liked, which hence goes back to bridal portraits. So anyways, the photographer, he wasn't gonna be the actual photographer. We did have 2, you know, very great photographers show up, but just like really explaining what we wanted our photos to look like. Now, don't get me wrong, when we said candid, we definitely got a lot of candid photos, but the things that really mattered to me, of course, as a bride, like, I really wanted great pictures of Nick and I cutting our cake. There was a designated room upstairs away from the guests where we could really take nice photos, and y'all, I'm not gonna go there, but it just didn't come out the way that I wanted it to. And I just think that was from a lack of communication with a photographer, and then with him really relaying that message to the guys that he actually sent to our big day. That's that. And then with our videographer, Loved our videographer. We also had 2 videographers there as well. Kind of the same situation, like not really giving the clear message of like what we wanted captured. Again, we did have a phone call, but I just don't think the clarity was there and the understanding of what we were looking for was there. So again, same situation with the videographer. A lot of things were missing. Also, with Nick and I being content creators, I would also recommend that if you are heavily into content creation, whether you are super big on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, have something in your contract that gives your photographer and your videographer like a deadline of getting you certain content, whether it's of course your teaser photos, which I did receive, but I didn't get them right away. So I could only rely on guest pictures and videos to be able to share a lot of the fun moments the following day. So give your video person and your photographer like some type of deadline, whether it's a week. I would say safe zone is a week, because it gives them some time to edit, and then you're able to post, you know, all of the footage that you would like as far as teasers with those who weren't able to actually be there, or just your natural content you want to post. So, okay, so that was 1, 2, and 3, y'all. Number 4, buying dresses too early. All right, y'all. This is for all my fashion girlies out there like me. I'm not talking about my wedding gown. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day of my wedding gown process, which I actually have some videos on our channel that you can see a lot of the process with my wedding gown, which was actually with my final choice of where I chose my wedding gown. Granted, there were some other places that I went that I didn't really record full content. I just have like clips and photos just for memories of what I did. But anyways, another story for another day. But what I'm actually referring to is for all of the events that you have planned. So I'm talking your buying dresses for like your bachelorette party, your bridal shower, whatever other events you have planned leading up to your wedding, y'all. I went crazy on the internet. Like when I tell you, I just kept seeing this dress and that dress, and I was like, oh my God, I have to have it. And I ended up with so many dresses, and even to a point where I ordered this gorgeous lace dress, and it didn't fit me at that moment, but I also, once I put it on me, it just wasn't what I wanted. And I always read the return policy. I didn't read it enough, and it was like a 14-day return policy. Granted, I ordered the dress and didn't try it on until like past the return policy. Y'all, don't come for me. It was like a $600 lace dress that I wanted to wear for my reception, and it just wasn't what I thought it was. And anyways, I was like, I had to beg these people to return this dress because it was unworn. The tag, like, it was in perfect condition, and I was like, I just didn't try it on. I didn't see the return policy, and luckily they gave me a full refund back to my original form payment, not a store credit, because I was like, man, they just gonna give me a store credit. What am I gonna do with this? They were so nice, and Lord, I cannot remember the name of this store, but if I do find it, I'll put it below for y'all to be able to go check them out. But anyways, that actually happened. And then just overall, just too many like white outfits are sitting in my guest room closet right now. And the final dress that you guys saw me wear to my reception, that was the pick out of 2. So I ended up with 2 final dresses for the reception, and I literally still had like 4 other dresses that didn't make the cut to my bachelorette party. It didn't make the cut to my bridal shower. So there's one dress that is literally brand new, and I'm not talking like cheap dresses, y'all. Like, if my mom's watching this, she's probably gonna cringe because she has no idea how much I spend on these dresses. Probably we're not gonna go there. But anyways, that dress is literally sitting in my closet, and I'm thinking about putting it on one of my mannequins and showcasing it to possibly sell. Not possibly, I am gonna sell that dress because I don't think I'm ever going to wear it. I've tried to like come up in my head with, oh, maybe you can wear. No, I'm never going to wear this dress, y'all. It's too elaborate, and even too elaborate for like a birthday dinner part. Like it's just too over the top, and it's white. I'm just not gonna wear it. Do not buy dresses too early because you're gonna end up with a closet full of stuff, and you're just not, you're not going to wear it, y'all. Like, you're not going to wear it. And oh, I almost forgot. Mind you, I was on a weight loss journey while, you know, getting ready for the wedding. And by the time I got to the point of, oh, let me go get some things altered, when I tell y'all, the dresses were swallowing me. Like, I was drowning in these dresses because I ordered like size large, which is pretty normal when you order like formal style dresses, because dresses do run big or run small. Dresses run small. And I ordered them pretty big, and just the way my body recomposition happened, like my bust area, my hips, like, y'all, and we're talking about dresses with like beading, and y'all, I was so stressed. I was like, I spent so much money on these dresses, and it was basically about to cost me the same amount to get them altered. Because if you go to alterations like I do, and it's like heavily beaded or any type of embellishments on your clothes, they do charge you more to alter it because they have to work around it. And it's just very difficult to work with those types of things. Like, it literally eats up your fingers. Like, trust me, I know. Yeah. So don't buy them too soon. Don't buy your dresses too soon. Wait till you maybe like 2 months max. 2 months max. Make sure you order ahead of time to prepare for alterations and to prepare for something not fitting and you may have to return it, or it's just not what you thought. Definitely give yourself some time, but 6 months out is too soon for you to order dresses. Don't make the same mistake I did, because then you're gonna have to post a closet clean out like me for brides. So, okay. Number 5, y'all, buying cheap wedding accessories. So this is also where a lot of money was wasted on my part. Mom, don't come for me. But while I was shopping for like my bridesmaids wedding accessories, which I did a really good job with their accessories because I just wanted it to be super simple. All I wanted them to have on was a super dainty earring, a bracelet. That was it, because their gowns were ivory. They had the one shoulder like cross strap, and it kind of had like the strapless top. So it was a very form-fitting dress, and it was very flattering on all of them. And I wanted the dress to scream way more than their accessories. So I did good with them. When it came to me, I wanted, of course, the headpiece that I wore, a necklace, earrings, and bracelet. That was what I wanted. I think where the most money got wasted was my headpiece. I just didn't do enough research on like bridal headpieces. And originally when I started looking, and of course y'all know my taste is, Lord, is out there. A lot of the bridal accessories that I was looking at, they were like $300, $400, $500. And I was like, okay, I cannot spend that much on a bridal headpiece. So then I started going a little bit cheaper, and I ended up finding one on Etsy. Etsy was my friend. And it was so beautiful, and I saw it on the model, and I was like, oh, that's gonna work. And not realizing it was like kind of like an angel wing style headpiece. So it almost was like 2-in-1. I didn't realize how big it was. And when it came in, I was like, I gasped because it was so sparkly, so beautiful. And it was too big. I was trying to figure out everything to make it work because I could not return it. Y'all, I couldn't return it. So I actually have this beautiful headpiece that will probably go into my bridal sale pile. But yeah, so I did end up with my final headpiece. I didn't spend too much money on it, but it was perfect. It was exactly what I was looking for. It was gorgeous. It was gold. Not to mention, gold headpieces were so hard to find, y'all. But that was my headpiece. And then my jewelry, like, couldn't figure it out. And then eventually I ran across a website called Olive and Piper. Oh, y'all, don't kill me if I don't have that right. I think that's the name of the jewelry company that I went to, and they actually specialize in formal jewelry. There's some other dainty things on there. It's all formal, and I found all of my bridal pieces. They weren't super expensive, but it was like exactly what I wanted and what I was looking for. So I would highly recommend this jewelry website to anyone that's looking for it. I'll link it below because I think I got the name wrong, but I think that's what it's called. Don't come for me, y'all. Okay, number 6. Not planning my time better in the hotel. Y'all, when I tell you I was going off of vibes the morning of my wedding, my mom pretty much had she said she had everything mapped out, which she absolutely did. Of course, there were hiccups at the wedding, but I did find myself kind of like lingering around, like, what am I supposed to be doing? And I think that one of the mistakes I made was not getting my makeup done first and then getting my hair done, because the way a lot of my photos were taken, my hair was literally still pinned up. My makeup was done, but my hair was still up. And I was like, I didn't really want that to be like that, but it happened and my picture still came out beautiful, but I would have preferred my hair to be down. And I think that was a result of me not like planting myself within the right time slots and just a lot of dead time. It was even dead time when we were taking photos. Like, y'all, I could be over exaggerating, but I wanted to do the first look with my bridesmaids. And I think I was like standing off in the corner and I'm like, oh, what's happening? What's going on? Had no idea what was happening. Didn't know what was going on at all. But I was standing there and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of upset because there were wedding guests that stayed in my hotel, and as they were coming down the elevator, I was like standing right there and I was like, oh, I didn't want anyone to see me yet. But what can you say? But I got so many compliments. Everybody was like, oh, you're so beautiful. I was like, thanks, keep walking. But anyways, plan your time accordingly. This of course will help if you have a wedding planner, but if you don't, I don't care if you have to write it down, give it to your bridesmaid, like keep us on track, whatever you have to do so that you don't have that dead space within your time in your hotel or in your venue, wherever you are getting ready for your big wedding day. Okay, y'all, number 7. After receiving all of my wedding photos, which Nick and I are still sifting through right now, I realized that I do not have many photos with my wedding guests, and it hurts me a little bit because there were so many people there and I don't have a lot of pictures with y'all, and I am a little sad about that. Like, there's so many great pictures of everyone else. I could totally see y'all having the time of your life, and I know Nick and I are so happy that y'all had a blast because that is exactly what we wanted. But I wish that I could have like set some time to just really be able to walk through and take photos with everyone that was there. So take pictures with your guests, make the time for it, do whatever you have to do, because when you don't see those pictures later, you're gonna be like, oh, I can't believe I didn't get photos with either my family or my friends that were actually at the wedding. Number 8, y'all. This could be a cultural thing, but I got a lot of heat for this when Nick and I actually came back from our honeymoon, which another story for another day. But I did not send my thank you cards out quickly enough, and I heard about it. Yes, it came from both sides of the family, from Nick's family and even from my family. And not to make any excuses, but my plan was to go on my honeymoon with Nicholas, which we had literally planned our honeymoon like I think it was a week after we had come back from New Orleans from the wedding, and just start like knocking them out. And I was hoping that it would take me like 2 weeks to get them done. But based on what happened with the honeymoon getting postponed and pushed back, and then so many other things started happening, like those thank you cards did not get written fast enough, and it took me a lot of time to get them written. And granted, y'all, I wasn't just writing a thank you for coming to the wedding. Like, I wanted to make very like detailed thank you cards to all of our friends and family that came. So y'all, I hope everyone got their thank you cards by now. I know all of my New Orleans family, something is going on with that post office. And please know I sent every single thank you card. So if you didn't get it, I don't know, I'm sorry, but I promise you I sent it. I know there are some people that didn't get their wedding invitations that lived in New Orleans. A lot of the wedding invitations were getting like returned to us. So please know that Nick and I sent it to you, and that if you didn't get it, we are truly sorry, but we did think about you. And overall, thank you all so much for all of the beautiful cards and all of the gifts that contribute to our honeymoon. It made our honeymoon exactly what you saw on all of the videos. It was so fun and so amazing, and we can't thank y'all enough for your contributions to that. Okay, number 9, y'all. Nick and I did not have a small wedding, okay? Nick has a very large family, and I would say I have a pretty big family, not as big as it used to be since like everyone's really growing up and kind of doing their own thing, but pay attention to your guest count. I know it's a very, very touchy topic for a lot of people, especially if you have big families and you just want everyone to be a part of it. But there's so many things to consider when you have when you're planning your guest count. So I believe our guest count, or for what our venue had allotted us for based on our contract, I believe it was like 250 people. Yes, we had just about 250 people at our wedding. If you truly know me, y'all know I get very overstimulated very, very easily, and it's something that I'm working through. But when it's so many people around, I get very awkward, and I feel like I'm getting like closed into a box, and I kind of shut down, and then I don't want to talk to anybody. And I believe it kind of showed a little bit at our reception when I started getting like that, which I also think that contributed to me not getting a lot of photos with our guests. But I think we had too many people. And I know my mom, again, is gonna come for me and possibly Nick, because I know he wanted to invite the entire world. But my first mindset was like 150 people max, which probably would have resulted in like a smaller venue and so forth. That whole thing could go down a rabbit hole, but just because of my mindset of like being overstimulated with too many people, probably people I don't know, it was just so many different factors that if I could just rewind the hands of time, I would stand my ground more on the guest count. And definitely I will say for you brides out there that are watching this to really, really consider that, because it could make a difference in your budgeting. It could make a difference in your venue, your food, the drink. Like, it could really change a lot of different aspects of your wedding planning when you really consider your guest count and stick to it. Like, don't deviate from it, because that could just go crazy. All right, y'all. Last but not least, number 10, plan accordingly when it comes to the time of your wedding. So Nick and I got engaged literally a year from our actual wedding date. And a lot of people may disagree with me, because at the end of the day, you don't want to postpone your life, especially if you're like Nick and I. We're in our mid-30s, so we want to really start a family. We want the kids. There's so many other things that we want, which of course is in God's timing. But consider your budget, consider the type of wedding you want to have, how big or how small, and give yourself enough time to plan it. And not to say that a year wasn't enough time, but the capacity of Nick and I's wedding was so big that part of me wishes we had like another 3 months of planning. He's probably gonna kill me because he totally disagrees with that. But I only say that because of how big our wedding was. I think if we just had a little bit more planning time, there are some things that may have gone a little bit better, but that's neither here nor there. And like I said, we had the most beautiful wedding that a girl could dream of. And shout out to my parents, because I am a very, very blessed daughter, and my parents did contribute to a lot of our wedding, along with Nick and I. So definitely huge thank you to the both of them for all of their hard work that they put into it, all of the planning, all of the ups and downs, all of the crazy moments. And of course, shout out to everyone else that got dragged into it, to all the craziness that happened. Nick and I would not be at this place in our lives if it weren't for you. But yeah, y'all, so those are my top 10 wedding wish do-overs. If I could spin the wheel back around and tweak a couple of things just to make the date even more grand than it already was, because it was absolutely grand. Those are the things I would change. And if you are well, let me see, we're basically at the end of 2024. So if you have a 2024 wedding that is getting ready to happen towards the end of the year, or you're planning a wedding for 2025, please put some comments down below. Let me know who you are. Stay tuned, because like I said, I have so many beautiful pieces, whether it's dresses or outfits that you can wear to your bridal shower or bachelorette, or even on your wedding day that I did not use. I'm most likely gonna post some things either on Instagram or just make a video about something. I don't know, y'all. I haven't crossed that road yet to figure out what I'm gonna do. But other than that, make sure y'all continue to like and subscribe. Give us some comments, give Nick and I some love, and I will catch y'all next time.
You know why? It's the life of the crooks. Yeah, sensation when we on vacation.